Mic check. Testing, testing. 1, 2, 3.
Zoo, here we go again. Everybody, I mean everybody. Got a lot to say, got a lot to say. I mean everybody, everybody. Got a lot to say, got a lot to say.
My microphone is on.
Hey, welcome to the Adult Conversations podcast. And if you're watching on YouTube, thanks for tuning in to the Adult Conversations channel, where we discuss topics of adult content. This is your girl, Ijanae, and you can follow me on IG at Ijanae Pollard. I'll spell that out later for the video. Today, I have with me Nashima, and I also have George. Y'all want to throw out your IGs or your Facebook names or anything like that?
Oh, Facebook is Nayshahi. I mean Naysha. I'm sorry. I don't have an Instagram.
All right, yeah, and so y'all can find me on Instagram at Ashley_Park PARQ.
Right. All right. So today we are going to be talking about dating in 2020. Why are there so many failed relationships and marriages that we are seeing in today's society? What do you think about that?
Y'all know my rule, ladies first.
Yeah, ladies first.
I think that.
Go ahead.
I think we in a social media era where everybody posts so much, and you post step by step every little thing that you do. So if you're posting that your man is just this glorious man, and you're letting everybody see that people going to want that. So instead of women actually going out to get their own man, or men going out to get their own women or whatever, they seeing it's like, oh, I can take him, or I can take her, or I don't know.
Nah, keep it up. You was going good. It was good. Keep going.
It's getting uncomfortable. There we go.
She was going good. She like, I don't know.
Yeah.
But I really think that, that creates a big problem when you put your every move and your every second of everything out there, opposed to keeping some things private. I also think that we're in an era where you got Black Ink Crew or the Housewives, and you got this, that, and the third. So instead of people having their own mind, they're idolizing these celebrities and thinking that, this is what the celebrities is doing, so I should do that. And I mean, instead of being the person that they truly are.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I can see that. I definitely see that. For me, I really feel like we are living in the time of gratification. And if we don't get what we want automatically, we gone. We're not going to work for it. We're not going to work to keep something alive or functioning. We just going to be like, no, because I know somebody else can do this, what you're not giving me or what I'm not satisfied on. And it's just so easy to do that nowadays. Nobody wants to put in the work to have something stable. So that's just my spiel on it, which is why I'm like, yeah. What about you, George?
So to answer the question, why aren't they working?
Basically, like, why are we seeing a lot of failed marriages, relationships, all of that?
So number one, back to, Ashima's point.
Yeah.
The first thing is you can see everything now. So we all have a Facebook friend to where we know the ups, the downs, the ins and outs of their relationship, and now we know that boy broke her heart, right? As opposed to before, the level of exposure that people had in regards to their intimate relationships, it wasn't as bare, right? It wasn't as in the open. So I think that's one thing. That's one aspect to be mindful of. I think the second thing is just from once again, my perspective, things that I've seen, things that I've experienced, is people people embraced being adults. Um, I think now is getting more to the point to where, and I think um, our entertainment, like you said, the Black Ink Crews, the Real Housewives, all this other stuff, to where it's showing this fast young life. It has people wanting to have that over what traditionally has been the goal, which is having stability, having someone that you love, having family structure, all these other things, right?
Right.
And so what we see in our media and everything is the young wildlife being glorified more and more, to where it's to the point now to where you have city girls and they have a following.
Yeah.
Now, granted, I'm all for women being able to do what they want to do, but at the same time, there also needs to be a certain level of, I guess, responsibility for what you do when you know that there are people that are looking to you for an example. Um, and I just believe that when it comes to the celebrities and the people in our community that we look up to, whether we should or not, it's just been a shift in what we've been projected and what's been projected onto us, and what those goals are now shaping into.
Exactly. And it's just like when you were just pointing out the city girls and stuff like that, just thinking about the lyrics, the real, right? Like we ran
Breaking Bag, Hope,
with
Five.
that.
I
We
mean,
ran with
it
that.
dope
And so
though.
now you got a whole bunch of women like, yeah, F him, like, but no, sis, because
Well, you're at home crying because you're single, or you're lonely, or
right.
whatever. You know what I'm saying? So it's like be true. My biggest advice to anyone I ever talk to is like, be true, be you, be who you are meant to be who you are supposed to be comfortable with that, because whenever you push yourself to try and be something that you think you want to be, as opposed to who you really are, that's just a recipe for disaster. Like you throughout my life, like the moments in which I failed is when I tried to be something I wasn't.
Okay. Yeah. So why do you think that relationships from way back in the day lasted more than we seeing our relationships lasting?
I personally think because there was no social media.
Okay.
There wasn't even as much exposure. Women back in the day, if their husbands cheated, they worked it out or whatever. That's why a lot of these marriages, worked for 50 years. They didn't always go tell all their friends, and then you got your little ratchet friends. Girl, he ain't this, that, and the third. He ain't gonna do this. But then she the same one that turn around and sleep with your dude because you didn't told him all your business. So
Right.
I think it's like, people putting too much of their business out there, opposed to like how my grandmother and my grandfather been together 50 years and nobody ever knew until somebody probably passed away, was like, well, he did have his little discretion that whatever, but we worked through it. And then I also think like in today's world and how things are, people are together just to say that they're together. Nobody wants to be in love. Everybody just want to be somebody just to say that they have somebody, which is insane. You see all these couples fighting on social media, and people be trending like, oh, if he hits you, that's love. When? If he cuss you out, that's love.
No.
When? You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't understand that. Or like the one when we was reading in an adult conversation, the girl was like, oh, he looks so good. I, contribute to his cocaine habit, this, and the third. When? So, people basing stuff off superficial stuff opposed to basing relationships and stuff off like love, getting to know a person, to grow with a person. And also like, watching TV, they glorifying ratchet. So these women are feeling like, I should wear this type of clothes because I can get this type of man. But then when that man grows, and he'd be like, I don't want that anymore. Then what do you have to offer? You don't have nothing to offer because you've been ran through. You so ratchet. You ain't got no education. You
Right.
want to sit around and let this man take care of you because this is what society told you that this is what a relationship should be.
Right. Woo, child, she didn't. Woo. That's the
I guess you know
collection
this
play
time.
right now.
I'm sorry, I don't went from
Last
one
time
to
she stopped and
one
said,
to one.
"Well, I don't know."
Right. No, pass the collection plate for Pastor right now, though. Yes. So it was another question I was going to ask about that too, because I'm trying to think. It was something in adult conversations that we had, or somebody had posted about Rashida and Kirk from
I missed that one.
For that.
Love and Hip Hop. I forgot what it said, but basically it was just talking about their relationship and things of that nature. And of course, some women were talking about how she was dumb to keep going back to him with everything that he has done. Someone was like, well, no, because this is her husband. Work it out. And it's just like, I feel like at a certain point, some things are just at a point of no return. Like, I can't have you disrespecting me like that and you think that it's okay. Like, I understand you mess up, you have a mistake, but what he did, I can't see it. I just can't.
I can't do that neither. And to me, that plays a part in, for one, low self-esteem, because any woman with high self-esteem, wants more for herself. A lot of people, which I know some people myself, stay in a marriage to say that they have someone. So it's like, I don't want to look stupid. You're looking stupid in a
You
relationship.
looking real dumb.
Because you're allowing the things to happen in a relationship, opposed to actually loving yourself enough to know and say, like, hey, I'm not going to deal with this. I'm better off single, opposed to being in a relationship. But once again, people get in relationships for likes and to be content, opposed to getting in a relationship or a marriage to be in love, longevity. Nobody's looking at that like the investment. Anybody who gets me would know I am an asset. I am an investment, but people ain't looking at that. I dated a guy, and I was a personal banker, and he really didn't have a lot, and I was okay with that because I liked him for him.
Right.
But, I was advocate for women, and I was hosting these events where it could be $100 plate, it could be this, that, and the third. So I surrounded myself with money because, when you surround yourself with money, you make money, But anyway, because he couldn't afford that, he told me I made him feel inadequate, which I did not. It's just because he wanted to stay on his level opposed to coming to my level of growth or whatever. So it's a lot of people out here thinking that way as well. You getting this money, so let me stay right here and let me see what you're going to do for me, opposed to let's, grow together. Let's get a house together. Let's own something together. Let's do like adult stuff. It's too many people that's 40 that still want to be 21. So if I'm trying to grow old and you trying to stay young, we're not going to stay together.
No, okay, not at all. Not at all. No, why you saying you quit? Go. I ain't going to interrupt you. Keep going. No. And just to piggyback off of that, I feel like definitely insecurities, lack of communication, and hidden motives and agendas are what's killing relationships too. Just like how you said, nobody is getting into these relationships and marriages for love. And I feel like a lot of people don't even know what that is because they have never seen it. All they've seen is toxicity and dysfunction. So of course they bringing that with them and then slapping love on it like, well, I'm only doing this because I really love you, which no, you're insecure and you don't know how to communicate effectively as an adult because you're feeling some type of way about yourself. So it's just, I don't know, dating in 2020 is hard. It was hard in 2019. It was hard years ago. It seems like it's just going down, and I don't even understand. I don't understand.
I'll just share some thoughts. So the there was a few points that both of you made that, I just kind of want to add my 2 cents to. So especially in regards to the people not wanting to, I guess, step up to the level that maybe someone else is at. So like you stated, you dated someone, and you were trying to bring them into your world and share that with them, but for some reason or another they felt intimidated or something of that nature by it. And that all comes back to a point that you initially made when we started, just the exposure and openness that people kind of have in their lives at this point. Is like, hold up, who are you worried about seeing? Who are you, whose opinion are you worried about? Because if only me and you know what's going on, why does it matter, right? And it sounds like he was just more worried about the optics of it. Like, hey, this woman's taking care of everything. I feel like less of a man because of the situation that I'm in, and I don't feel adequate. I don't feel like we are equal in this. And for some people that is mentally just too much, because once again, because of the perception and how things look. It takes a very mature man to say, you know what, I can take a back seat to you, and help you continue to be everything that you are, but then also work on myself to make sure that I deserve you. And that may be what it came down to. Because for men, it's very hard for us to just admit when our pride is hurt. That sucks. Like, we ain't just gonna come out and say my pride hurt. Nah, they don't work that way.
I wish y'all did. Like, dang.
Nah, it's pride. No, that's the whole point of pride. like, you got to keep that as much as you can. So it'll never come out as that, but it does manifest in different ways to where we feel insecure or feel inadequate and don't feel like we can do the work that we need to do in order to be what we know we should be and to deserve what we know we want. That's a level of maturity that unfortunately is pretty rare, but then it kind of goes back to the point I made earlier about our society. It takes being an adult one to be one, not wanting to be what society is showing you that you can be or that you should be or that the guy that you look up to is doing, when, like, going back to, you said the post with, say, Kirk and Rashida or whatever, it's like, for some men, when they see situations like that, it kind of validates them being able to do kind of the same stuff and not have to suffer the consequences and repercussions of that.
Right.
And now it's like, when you run into a situation where you can't do that, it's like, oh, well, guess I gotta go.
Right. 'Cause I know that Keisha down the street gonna do it. So
there you
Let
go.
Keisha do it then.
she said, let Keisha do it then. Oh, no. All right. So what are your thoughts about dating in 2020? Why are there so many failed relationships and marriages that we are seeing right now? If you are on YouTube, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button, and also hit that bell button so that you're notified of when I post different segments and videos. And also, if you're a part of the Adult Conversations group, make sure that you comment your thoughts about this particular segment.